Okay, so let me share my screen. And let's go to our Canvas. Okay, so here's our. Okay, so just a reminder that for all the laboratories, they are in their own module down at the bottom here. There we go. So this is to help you know what's due when. So these are the dates we're going by. So 11:59 p.m. So this one, 11:59 p.m. So you can see the dates here. So you can get organized and turn in on time. So this is for this week. So it's on the lab archives, and we'll take a look at the lab archives. So if we go to the lab archives, let me find it here. Okay, so lab activity and exploration of rates. It's experiment 1 and exploration of rates. And so I did make a video last semester about it too. Okay, so you go to your lab archives. And then here's this week, experiment 1, an exploration of rates. Okay. So you will be writing formal laboratory reports, and this PDF is to help you with the writing. It's very long. You're probably going to want to refer to it, but it's the proper writing for the formal laboratory report. So you're supposed to read it, because to receive full credit, you have to follow this guide. You're going to want to go back and keep referring to it, because otherwise, if you don't follow the guide, then you start losing points, and those points add up. So then after you read it, then you would hover with your pencil icon, click on the pencil icon. I'm just going to use Classic Editor. Avoid beginning a sentence with, okay, you're going to have to read it because there's an answer. Briefly explain the use of personal pronouns. I and me and like that. And that's saying, what should you avoid? Avoid whatever. That's my answer. Now, when you save the page, it's going to save what you wrote. But please take the time to go through this, because later on, you want to keep all your points, because you're following how to write laboratory reports, like how to write formal laboratory reports. Okay, so I'll just be looking through your answers. Okay, now. I made this 0 points because I put the points in one place. I didn't like having the points separate, so it would be just in one place. This is to help you how to use the lab archives, but there's no questions. It's just to help you. Okay, so here's the experiment. So you notice that we're talking about rates and the graphing to determine the rate. And what are our topics? And this should look familiar. There's our rate law, integrated, there's the order. Okay, here's your assignment. Again, it's 0 points because the points are later, but you still have to do this. So you find the pencil icon. I'm going to use classic editor. Purpose of the lab. Oh, to learn how to graph and use lab archives, something like that. Make sure you always press the save, and then you can always edit. Okay, so you're going to edit this. Get your calculator out, calculate the 1 over the AB and the natural log of AB. You're going to fill this out. And then it's telling you, you're going to make 3 graphs: 0 order, first order, and second order. You're going to you could use Excel. And then you're going to attach the graphs. So let me go to insert. And
So you want a
okay,
separate graph for each
yes,
order?
yes.
How would you format that?
In Excel, I would.
No,
I'm sorry, what?
I just mean like what columns would you have? Just 2?
Oh, yeah. So I would have time versus this for one graph. Time versus 1 over AB for the second graph. And time versus natural log of AB for the third graph. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't just fill in that graph, we make our own.
Oh, well, you're filling in the table. This is a table.
Oh, you want to graph? Oh, okay, I get it. Different.
Yes,
different.
and then 3 different graphs from this table. And it's asking for 0 order, first order, second order. We're trying to reinforce the concepts in lecture. Okay, so let me see if I can remember how to do this. Insert, more. Oh, I did this in like, okay, so, oh, insert attachment. Was that it? Oh, there we go. Did you see what I just did? If I make Excel graphs, now I can add files. I just got to go, oh, look all this stuff on my computer. I just got to go find my Excel file. And then, oh, you see this is the fake data for when we're remote. I find my Excel graph, open it. And then after I add a file, then I can save the page. I can't save the page because I didn't add a file. And then that's how it puts in your Excel graphs.
Professor, can we use Google Sheets or do we only have to use Excel?
Anything. As long as you have it on your computer, you just upload that file.
Okay, got it.
Yep. And this is asking me to edit, so that's my pencil icon. Which factors, oh, we did that in lecture today. Which factors increase the rate of a chemical reaction? That was from lecture. I'll just give you one, but I'm gonna delete it. And then I would save the page. And then you go to the results and discussion. I put another video in just so you can watch it if you need to. This is going to help you with the online. We have something called Beyond Labs that will, oh, wait a minute. I think it is, I think we do have Beyond Labs this week. Oh, I keep changing things. I did not change things. I'll have to double check with that. Oopsie. Oh my God. I need to go back and put it in. Because we do have a Beyond Labs this week. Where's my, did I print out my schedule? Oh God. This is what happens when you change. Oh, I guess the Beyond Labs is next week. Oh. Oh, this is, okay. So you, yeah, this is just practice. It was, oh yeah, I don't want to overwhelm you. the second week.
So
Yeah.
the ionic compounds beyond labs is due next week.
Yeah, so if you look at your syllabus, it's week 3. Yeah, I put that, if you look on your syllabus, so we want to practice, like this is how you would do it. So there isn't any this week, but you would put it in your lab archives. This is just practice. So yeah, so when we go to the other experiments, you'll see that there's a place for you to put your Beyond Labs in the lab archives, but not for this week because we're just practicing. Okay, so you've got some results and discussion questions. See, and then here's where the points are. So the whole experiment 1 is 15 points, but I just put in this one place. Okay, and then someone had asked about formal laboratory reports. So week 3, when we're back in person, we'll be doing this experiment. So this experiment is a 3-week experiment because of being remote, but someone was asking, okay, so how do you do this? Well, here's some hints for you. And I put hints on the data analysis. So there's lots of hints for you. So this is to help you because this is a rate experiment. So I left this in here because it's really good. Look, Arrhenius. Yep, Arrhenius. Okay, so it says edit the title. So you would go in here and you would put in the title. What is it? Experiment 27, rates and mechanisms of reaction. So this is part of your job. And then save the page. I'm going to delete it because that's going to be part of what you're going to do. So that's part of a formal laboratory report is like the title of it. Okay, you guys have pre-lab questions. Then you're going to put them here. You can write in your lab manual and scan it. Or if you want to type it in here. But remember, you can always upload a file because you can scan it. No, what was here? Okay. Yeah, if it's in your computer, then you can always upload that file. So if you've scanned it, you just go to this and upload your file. So yeah, formal laboratory report has pre-lab questions. They're in your Marav. See, it says answer your pre-lab questions from your Marav. So technically, this is supposed to be before you go to class. Procedure, step by step. You have to look in your Marav. So this is technically from your Marav. Let me go ahead and make that clear. So you can do bullet points, but it has to be that you could follow it. If it's too brief and you can't follow it, you're going to lose points.
So is this a guide for future labs or something we have to do for?
This is okay. This is how to do. No. Oh yeah. This is what you hopefully did in 111A. So when you had 111A and you had to do a formal laboratory report, you were supposed to do a procedure. But what we're doing is we're just making it organized. It's in our lab archives. So you would put it here. So you could type it directly in here, or you could scan it. I mean, but it goes in here. A formal laboratory report has a procedure. It doesn't have to be good grammar for the procedure. Like bullet points are fine. But size of the Erlenmeyer flask, or how much volume you use, or follow table, blah, blah, blah on page, whatever. There's a huge table in here. Okay, so your introduction, about 150 words, and notice it's theory, just the theory. Like what are rate laws? What are rate? Yeah, so all about the rates and rate laws. And you can use real world examples. That's the best. You can use real world, oopsie. So this is a formal laboratory report, but it goes in your notebook. You can type it directly on here using the bridge checks, making the changes. Okay, so this is week 3, but notice here it tells you where to go, how to find it. Click on the activities. This is your worksheet, and then this is your Beyond Lab. So it's going to be here in your electronic laboratory notebook. So this is because you're only in lab 1 day. This is like to make up for that second 2.5 hours. Okay, you guys can write in you have to go write your data by hand when we're in lab, in ink. So this is probably going to be by hand. I had some people get really fancy and use their iPads. But you can scan it and then upload it here. So it should be in ink, dated. You can use a spiral bound notebook is fine. I would suggest some kind of a notebook so you don't lose random papers. So you could keep your data. Oh my God, this is called the new one. Okay. Okay, you can write your data in ink in a composition book or spiral notebook during the lab session. So that would be your raw data. This would be what we call raw data. And notice it should be in ink. I don't know what you guys have been doing. So you could do this in your composition book, and then you could scan it and then upload it in here. But this is like during the class. And you should have your date. Every day you put your date for that data from that day. Try to do it as neat as possible. It's supposed to be in ink. Okay, this is from your Marov laboratory manual, all those results and discussions. There's going to be a gazillion graphs. And so you're going to probably want to upload all those graphs. So again, some people just wrote in hand. Some people made tables and then upload those tables. And like I said, there's going to be a gazillion graphs. You got to answer all the questions. You could answer the questions by hand in your lab manual and then rip out that page. But everything goes here. Okay, so I tried to help you here because people were getting confused. It's based on your learning objectives. So I've given you what to put in this conclusion. If you follow this, like number 1, blah, 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 answer it. Number 2, answer all that. Number 3, if you just do this 1, if you label it 1, then it's easier for me to find it. 2, and it's a summary. So if you answer this, you should be perfect on your conclusions. So I put it in here to help you. So it's a guide. Okay. Okay, so you're going to want to open up this. It's going to take a while. Okay, so when you go to this installation guide, see if I can, okay. That shows everything, okay. So this is to help you give you, there's the portal, it gives you the instructions. So everything is here as far as where to go, what to do. This is free, the school paid for it, or I guess the state of California paid for it for you. This is kind of like, yes. Because we do need to have some virtual experiment, and I've spent some time, they're really good. And again, this is like you're doing this on your own, so yeah. Okay, so this, oh, actually, I think it's on, I want to say it's on the cloud now. I don't think you have to do one computer one time because they put it on the cloud. I'm positive it's cloud-based now. But this is your long student code, and I'm positive it's cloud-based, so you don't need to worry about the one computer one time, and the school paid for it. And again, this is just to help you because this is week. This is okay. Some people are working and they need to do ahead of time. And so I put this in here if anyone wants to do this ahead of time. Even though it's, if you look at your syllabus, it's not till week 3. And the lab archives doesn't close or open. The lab archives is open all the time. I don't know why I put a date on there. Oh, I put the due date on.
So is this due this week?
Oh, okay. So yeah, to answer your question, because I know we're covering a lot here. So what you would want to do, oh, here we go. So when you go to the syllabus, you can see that we are technically we're on week 2. And the only experiment you have in week 2 is your exploration of rates. That's your online experiment because we are still reviewing. That's the review that we do together in Zoom is your lab. Like if we were in lab, this is your online. So the only online you have is the experiment 1, the exploration of rates in your lab archives.
So we don't have any homework in Beyond Labs this week, only for next week, right?
Well, let's take a look at next week. Next week is week 3. So there you go, week 3. Okay, let me do this because when I make tables in Word, they don't translate to Canvas very well or at all. Okay, so let me make sure I'm answering your question. Okay, so we're in week 2 now. We're still on kinetics. This is what we're doing in the laboratory together because we're kind of in the lab. Like right now, we would be in lab. The quiz is going to be on Wednesday. at 8 a.m. So this is your online experiment for this week. Okay, so let me answer the question in the chat. Okay, so let me go back. Okay, wait, where did, oh, let me scroll over.
Professor?
Yeah, I have someone asking a question in the chat also. So let me get to that. Oh, wait, oopsie. I just had it too. So let me, oh, here you go. So to answer the question in the chat, I want to make sure I answer everyone's questions. Okay, so yeah. So someone had asked about the student code. So so I'm giving you the student code so you can go ahead and get started on it. So the portal is here. Well, you have to download this and look at the portal, and then there's your student code. So it's in this week, so we can kind of get you into Beyond Labs. Did that answer the question in the chat? Yes, kind of long. Yes, okay. And then who was that? What was the other question? This is if people want to get a head start, because I know people working 15, 20 hours a week. So you might want to get a head start, especially since you only have that one online activity this week. Okay, what was the other question? Okay, so this was in modules. So in other words, this week, all we're doing is getting on to Beyond Labs. That's just all you're doing is getting there. That's really all you really need to do this week, is make sure that you've gotten to Beyond Labs. And I'm positive it's cloud-based. So I don't think it's any one computer, one time anymore. So this week, the goal is just get on the Beyond Labs. Make sure that everyone's on there. And was there another question? Oh, let me.
I haven't asked it yet, but I had a question about the lab schedule, the in-person lab schedule, because you said
Yes,
we're only going to do one day, and will you,
right.
what's the times for that? Does it like affect when we go into school?
Oh, okay. So our classes starts at 8 a.m. So we're in lecture at 8 a.m. We're in lecture from 8 a.m. to 10:05. And then we take a break, and I want to start the lab at 10:30 in the lab room. And then
Okay.
we 10:30 to 1. They gave us an extra 10 minutes. I don't think we need it. If we can do 10:30 to 1 for the lab.
Okay.
On the registration, it says 10:40.
Yeah, okay. So I asked, okay, that would give us an extra 10 minutes that we don't really need for a break. If we could take a break between, okay, 10:05 is when lecture ends. And so if we take a break from 10:05 to 10:30, that's a 25-minute break. That should be long enough. And then if we start at 10:30, we can finish lab at 1.
So on the days that our group isn't in lab, we just don't stay until 1.
Right.
Okay. So I'm sorry. I was confused because
Don't apologize. This is crazy.
last semester in general chemistry 1, my professor did the lab first, so we would just come in later.
Oh, yeah. So our lectures first.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's just make sure everyone's clear on this, because I know it's really, it's yeah, the way our schedule is. Okay, so let's make sure everyone's 8 a.m. That's our lecture. And we do it to 10:05. That's what we're supposed to do. Okay, so I have the problem solving and the lecture all together. Because the schedule has, okay, the schedule has to show the problem solving, and that's just for like bookkeeping purposes. So I just do the problem solving throughout the lecture, as you can see. And then they gave us an extra break that I didn't ask for. I would prefer to start the lab at 11:30. Yeah, so I'm gonna have like the first 13 people on the roster, and the last 13 people on the roster, and I'll let you guys know. Yeah, I need to count bodies because I need to see if I need to double check that someone hasn't like left or dropped or anything. I'll put in an announcement, let's put it that way. If we do this, then we can get out at 1. And that starts at lab time. We're starting the split lab schedule on week 3 because we got like 25 bodies in here. So yeah, when we come back next week, we'll be doing the split lab schedule, and I will put out an announcement because I have to double check and make sure people haven't dropped. Because there are a couple of people, I don't know what happened to them. Anyway. Okay, other questions? Yeah, we have lecture first. Oh no, if you forget to submit on lab archives, you still saved. As long as you saved, it's on there, I'll see it. But we want it, because you want to submit at the very end. So what I'm saying on the, oh, okay, so here. Okay, so as long as you, as long as you click the save to page, I can see it. This experiment looks at rates of reactions. Typical orders are 0. Okay, so my point is, as long as you click the save to page, I will see it. When you're done, you are supposed to submit, but as long as you click save to page, I can grade it. So that's the key, is to click the save to page. But eventually we're going to want you to submit. The submit button should be with the points. Again, but you want to submit at the, you want to be careful because once you submit, you cannot edit. It should be here. There should be a submit button here for you guys. But you're okay if you don't submit as long as you save the page. Does that answer your question? Okay, I'm guessing that's it. It's okay. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, gosh. Okay, so we said we just want you to get the Beyond Labs this week. That's really your goal, is just to get the Beyond Labs. So you have to open this up. This gives you the instructions to get the Beyond Labs. Your code was, oh, I guess I put your code in the other place. Yeah, I did. Oh my God. Where did I put your code? Oh, code's right there. So you open this up. Can I go to this portal? Click control and everything. Oh. Well, you guys know how to get on there, right? I guess you cut and pasted or something.
The code doesn't work.
What? It's
Yeah, it
supposed to be
doesn't
good
work
for-
for me either.
I'm sorry, what? I will have to, okay, so I will have to email. They told us the code was good for a year. I will have to email Beyond Labs and double check the code. Okay, well, that's one of the reasons we're starting this now. Okay, so let me write a note to myself and double check the code for Beyond Labs. Where's my pencil? They told us it was good for a year, so okay, let me find. I will email the Beyond Lab support and see if they changed the code or something. Okay, I will check on that. They told us it was good for a year, so I don't know. Okay, I'll get you guys a new code. Well, it's a good thing it's not due this week. Okay, and then if you go back to the syllabus, you will see that, oh yeah, we have to watch that. Okay, you will see that there's a lot of little videos in the syllabus to help you. So here's a little video. Let's see if I can go. I gotta figure out how to do it with getting rid of the ads. I know there's a way to do it. Oh,
So I've got my essay written, and I've been working
yes,
on it for about a
whatever.
week. So now I'm going to show you how I use Grammarly to edit.
Wow, I should have edited out this first part. Okay, so yeah. So I made these little videos for you, and Beyond Labs, yeah. And we'll go through this too, because there's, yeah, Beyond Labs keeps changing. But this just gives you an idea of that you can get there and you can get these little worksheets. So this is just an example for you. We're not doing this particular one, but this is just an example to show you that there's instructions. And it's pretty short. So that's just an example to show you how to, okay, to show you how to get worksheets. And again, we're not doing this particular one, but just an example to show you that's going to be worksheets on your Beyond Labs. So I have lots of little videos inserted in here to try to help you. I don't know what's happening with that one. And again, I will double check on our code and find out why that code is not working. Okay. Okay, so then also, okay, so your homework is on the McGraw-Hill Connect. Really, are you supposed to do that for me? You're not gonna do that for me? What? Seriously? Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry, my bad. What? Why is it that it works perfectly when I'm not showing you guys? Oh my gosh. Oh, seriously? Moving ahead, that not showing. Okay, well, I'll show you guys what, okay. So yeah, you have to have an access code. The access code should come if you bought the book through the bookstore, it comes with an access code. We asked them to. Let's see if it will work this way for me. There we go. So yeah, you need an access code. And that comes with the, when you buy, seriously? That comes when you buy through the bookstore. Spring, we're Monday, Wednesday, here we go. So this is the Connect. So what I did at the suggestion of one of my former students, because she was working, is I opened up all the homework, like already. But you can see the due dates here. So once you access the Connect, you can go straight to the homework and work on it. But keep in mind there are due dates, and this does close on you at the due date. So there's your homework, and you're welcome to start it earlier if you want. So you see that it's that many questions and that many points, and the points add up. And so you would go ahead and do the questions. Okay, so let's, oh look, I had 10 attempts. I gave you guys 10 attempts. Okay, so I can go ahead and answer the question. I can fill this out, and I can check my work before I submit it. Oh yeah, I should probably, what is that? Oh, I gave you my calculator out. This is a relative rates problem, it looks like. Let's see there. Hydrogen. Oh, they want hydrogen? Let me see if I can do it really fast. So hydrogen, it looks like I need to divide by 6 and multiply by 4. I might be doing this too fast. But I have 10 attempts, so seriously. Oh my gosh, do I have to pay attention to sig figs? I think I have to pay attention to sig figs. My gut is telling me I need to pay attention to sig figs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's sig figs on this. And I might be doing this too fast. I'm doing this like really super fast on my calculator, so I'm not sure if I'm messing up. But I just want to have a number in there. Okay, so I can go ahead and try to put the answer in there. And then I can check my work. And oh my gosh, so obviously I did something wrong really fast. Yeah, so obviously I did something wrong, but I can check my work before I submit it. And obviously I'm like, because I just did this really, I ripped up my, yeah, I probably should get that piece of paper. Yeah, no, I still have 9 attempts left though, because like, pretty much messed up on this. Yeah, so I have 9 attempts. So oh, look at this. Hint. So it gave me a hint. Yeah, I probably should have done. Oh yeah, I don't think I even used a negative or anything, did I? Okay. Okay, so it gave me a hint. I still have 9 attempts, even though I looked at the hint. Okay, solution. Are you sure you want to see the solution? If you choose yes, you will see the solution go to and score no points for this version. But look, it says, don't worry, you can try another version of this question. Okay, so yes, show me. Ah, look at this. Well, oh, okay, so it's giving me a strategy. There's a tab on the left side of the canvas. Oh yeah, there's a tab on Canvas. It's on, yeah, I got to this through Canvas. Yeah, there's a tab on your Canvas that gets you here. Oh my goodness. Well, see, isn't that what I did? I don't know. I was doing it too fast. Oh, see, they show me. This is, yeah, there we go. Hey, I can look at all of this and then they're going to give me another question. This is wonderful. Wonderful. So they said I could do another version of this question. Oh, look at this. Would you like to try another version of this question? Oh, yep, I can try another version of this question. Isn't that the same equation, but they just changed the numbers? Interesting. Oh, look, I have 10 attempts. I still have 10 attempts. Oh, there's also a guided solution. I think I like the solution better. And now, okay, so I looked at the solution and I can do another version. Ta-da! Look at that. And I have 10 attempts on this version. So they let me do another version. I still have 10 attempts. So yes, wonderful. And then I go to the next question. So you got 10 attempts. These have algorithms. And so you can do other versions. You can check your work. So it's going to take you a while, but you're going to learn. It's really nice because you're going to learn. So yeah, I set these up that you've got 10 attempts, you've got algorithms. That means you can look at the hint, look at the solution, which is really nice, and then go do another version. This is going to be wrong because I'm just going to go, like, I'm just going to put numbers in. But I would look at the solution and follow it, and then check my work, which is going to be wrong because I was just putting in random numbers. And then I can go on to the next problem. And I still have 9 attempts. So look, 10 attempts again. So it's going to take a while, but you're going to learn. And the more you learn on this, the better you're going to do on your quizzes and exams. Because look at all these, I've got all these questions. I've got 42 questions to practice. Plus I'm getting some points, which is nice. And I'm learning. So you will want to get started on this. And it's not due till 2/5. We made it due at, oh, 2/5. That should be 6. I want to change it to Sunday. Yeah, let me double check on that. I was trying to make them all on Sunday. Obviously, I don't know what day Sunday is. I thought I made it on Sunday. No worries. I'm trying to make everything due on Sunday so we're consistent. Oh my God, look what year I have. Well, that answers the question. It would help if I was in the right year. There's how I gave you 10 attempts, which is insane. And yeah. Okay. I'll have to check the other class to make sure I have the right year. I think we're good now. Okay, so I apologize for being on the wrong year. Oh, there we go. I should have been, oh good, I'm okay in the other years. Okay, so you will want to get started with this homework. But again, you got all those attempts and you're practicing for the quiz next week. Okay, so that's the connect. And we did the formal laboratory reports. Okay, so questions about connect.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
So if we buy the actual textbook, like via the bookstore, it'll come with an access code, right?
Yeah, so if you have the actual textbook, it's either in the very front or the very back. There should be an access code. So in the actual textbook, there should be an access code somewhere. They usually put it as like a either in the very front or the very back. They usually put the access code. Other questions? Okay, so we've been sitting for like another hour. Let's take a 10-minute break, get up and walk around.
Professor?
Yeah, question?
So for this week, we only have the lab archive and the connect as a homework, right?
Yes, the lab archives is your experiment 1. So, oopsie. Let me find my. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so everything is in the Canvas course, so you can see what you're doing. So if we go, let me go to my Canvas course. Okay, so when you're trying to figure out what to do, so for the lab, just scroll all the way down, and that will tell you what we're working on and what to do for the lab.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then for the connect, the due dates are on there. And then for the exams and the quizzes, you'll see those like in the Canvas module week 2. So once you learned how to navigate everything, then it should be, it's all in Canvas. Try to make it all there. Other questions? So I know this is probably, I don't know what your other professor did. We're all doing this different. It's like, anyway. Okay, so let's take like a 10-minute break so you guys can walk around and yeah. You can do it. I've been doing this for like, what, a year and a half, wait, spring 2020? Yeah, we can do this. I've been doing this for, oh yeah, 2 years now in March. Okay, so take a break, walk around, do some yoga or something. I'm gonna squeeze, I got like another hour to squeeze out your neurons. I'm confident I can squeeze more out of your neurons in the remaining hour. You can do it, you're young. Oh, I guess I don't need to record in this. Okay, so I think that was 10 minutes. Okay, so you will not have to draw Lewis structures in this course. You want to start practicing for OChem. You'll be drawing Lewis structures the entire year of OChem. So for sure, you want to start remembering how to do Lewis structures for OChem. But let's go through, like, you remember how to do the valence electrons based on the group. Again, in OChem, you'll be doing this, so review it now, and then also to help us. So this is what they look like on the periodic table. So the valence electrons, and this helps us because then we see how to make sodium chloride, lithium chloride, like that. So being able to do the Lewis structures helps us explain about bonding. So for example, we have a salt. So if we notice here, this is a plus ion, this is a minus ion, therefore we have ionic. So cation, anion, ionic. The Lewis structure helps us to explain that it's ionic. And then we've got the covalent that you can see is completely different. So we're sharing the bonds. So when we do the Lewis structure, we draw like these two bonds, we'll just draw it as a nice line. And then typically we would just draw it like this and not show the lone pairs. And we know it's covalent because we're sharing. So if we can draw the Lewis structures, we can answer that this is covalent. So again, you're not going to be asked to draw the Lewis structures, but if you can do it and someone asks you is covalent, if you can draw the Lewis structure of it, you can answer that question. Okay, and then when we get to something like this, we see water has got the two lone pairs. And we've got carbon monoxide. We've got the triple bond here. So the Lewis structures will tell us what the molecule looks like in terms of the bonds and the lone pairs. And again, these are all covalent. They're all being shared. So if you can do the Lewis structure, you can answer the question, is it covalent? And these are all molecular, so yeah. Okay, so when we look at ammonia, we have this real nice lone pair. So this lone pair is available because this is trigonal planar. So the hydrogens are back here making the lone pair accessible, which is important in its chemical characteristics. So it's not that I would ask you, is it trigonal planar, or I'm sorry, trigonal pyramidal. It's like, you know, it's trigonal pyramidal and that we have available lone pair. Lone pair is accessible for sure. Okay, so if we're looking at a polar covalent bond, we can see we have a dipole. We can see the H is pulling the electron density away from the hydrogen. So it's very polar covalent. But again, it's still covalent. So slightly positive, slightly negative. So we're going to be looking at electronegativity more than electron affinity. So electronegativity, the ability to withdraw or pull an electron towards itself in a chemical bond. And there's trends in the periodic table. So here's the trends. So you're going to want to know the trends so we can apply them. So don't memorize the numbers because that's too much, but you want to know the trends for sure. So you should be able to classify these based on being able to draw the Lewis structures. So we know the trends. We know that chlorine is very electronegative. So HCl polar covalent. Metal, non-metal, KF is ionic. It's cation and anion. Carbons are the same, they have the same electronegativity value. So covalent. So this is applying the electronegativity values on the periodic table. So again, if you can do the Lewis structures, especially those of you taking OChem, it can only help. So you've got nitrogen trifluoride. It looks kind of like this. So put the central atom in there, surrounded by the other atoms. Add up all your valence electrons. Then we should have an octet rule for everyone except for hydrogen. So N has an octet, all the F's have octets. Make sure we have the total number of valence electrons is correct. So here's our HNO3. If it's a strong electrolyte, it is a strong acid. That we need to know. So here's our hydrogen. We're pulling electron density towards the O. So we're actually pulling on that electron. The electron that belonged to the hydrogen, we're pulling on it. We're also pulling on the electron that belonged to the hydrogen with our neighbors. Everybody is pulling on the electron that had originally belonged to the hydrogen. So the hydrogen cannot hold on to its electron, it pops off as H+, which makes it an acid. So again, we should be able to draw this structure. We should be able to add up all the valence electrons. We're trying to figure out why this is an acid. And why is it a strong acid? There's an electron here. There's an electron here. We said we are, oh, that's the wrong way. stamp. Oh, I did a stamp on accident. Ah, here we go. We said O is pulling that electron off the H and everybody's helping it. We got all these people helping to pull the electron off the H. Everybody. It's like 4 atoms helping us pull the electron off the H. That means the H is going to come off. It's like it has no choice. And that makes it a strong acid. And then we had to put the double bond in also. But what we're trying to do is explain, why is this a strong acid? It's a strong acid because of its Lewis structure and electronegativity of all those O's, stealing the electron from the H. Okay, so again, if you had to draw a Lewis structure for carbonate, we would want to have 4 bonds on the carbon. And yes, you're going to see this in OChem for sure. Carbon can have different, but it likes to have 4 bonds. So again, being able to draw the Lewis structure so we can answer questions. Being able to draw those double bonds where we need to have them. Being able to move the electrons around. And for us, what's really going to be super important for us also is our nomenclature, that we know that. So something like formaldehyde looks like this. Oh yeah, formal charges. Yeah, you're gonna do formal charges a lot in OChem, not so much in this class, but definitely in OChem, formal charges. So the formal charges help us to be able to have the Lewis structure that's most correct. And we won't be doing it in this class so much, but again, you're going to do this in OChem. And some professors review really fast. They like spend 1 day on Gen Chem 1. Like a lot of professors spend 1 day on chapter 1. For us, we just want to know that this is what the Lewis structure would look like. And so carbon, like these H's are on carbon, carbon's not going to steal the electron from these H's. This is just a molecule. No one is making it acidic. So again, those of you taking OChem are going to want to review this before you go on to the OChem, because OChem expects you to be able to do formal charges. So again, this is just being able to do the formal charges, so we know the overall charge, and then being able to draw the Lewis structure. So I don't see the H being acidic. So I'm saying this H is going to keep its electron. No one is stealing the electron from it. So I would label this as just a regular non-acidic, which is what we need to be able to do. So again, we're trying to figure out acids. That's why the Lewis structures are going to help us. And that's how the formal charges help us. And then carbon likes to have 4 bonds. If you just know that, you'll see that this one is the correct one. And then these H's are just staying on the carbon. And if they're staying on the carbon, I would not label this as an acid at all, which is what we want to be able to do. So the structure is B, and I see those H's stuck on the carbon, so they're not acidic. So we're going to want to be careful also because this is the arrow for resonance. And that's not what we used in this chapter. So be careful with your arrows. I don't want you to accidentally put the resonance arrow on an exam or a quiz. We use the arrows going both ways for kinetics. This particular arrow is the resonance. And just a warning for OChem. So we don't have to do this, but I'm trying to get you guys ready for OChem because it looks like over half the class is going to take OChem. So I'm trying to prepare you that in OChem, you want to be able to do this. So again, we don't have to worry about this. You're going to want to review this before OChem because who knows how fast your professor is going to go through and do this for OChem. Because this is chapter 9, so but we expect you to know this for OChem. So since the Canvas eventually closes on you, you might want to download this as a review for your OChem. Now, we're going to see this sometimes, and this is where it's going to help us. So we can see that when we do the proper structure for the BF3, so this is going to make a difference for us. This is going to have some meaning for us in the chapter 15. We need to know this. The boron can accept electrons. That's going to be significant to us. But we need to be able to do the Lewis structure in order to see that the boron can accept electrons. We're going to see this expand octet in the transition chapter, which is like the, oh my gosh, the 15th week of school. So we will see expand octet, but not till we get to week 15. We're going to see some weird compounds like this. So yeah, we will see this. It's like, yep, it happens. Oh, I gotta get rid of my drawing. So again, these Lewis structures are to help us because we're going to see these compounds we haven't seen before. This is chapter or week 15. We'll see some weird compounds like this PF5 with an expanded octet. So I just want to make sure that when we see it, it's not brand new when we see this expanded octet. So yeah, we can have expanded octets. We will definitely see that. And that's fine. Phosphorus likes to do that. Okay, sulfate. Oh yeah, we're gonna see sulfate. So we need to know that this is sulfate. We would need to start by single. Okay. Okay, so again, you guys will know how to draw Lewis structures, so don't worry about that so much. But we want to know that we could have a -2 in the sulfate. We can have an expanded octet. Again, we'll see some weird compounds like this in week 15. So don't panic too much. We just want to have the Lewis structures help us. And you can have some compounds with xenon. So xenon can do this. And again, it can have an expanded octet. So we're going to see some expanded octets. We just kind of want to know what bond enthalpy is so we can use it. Okay, so hopefully you had some neurons for that. So if you, okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so we're going to back to module 1. So let me find it. Okay, so we'll go back to module 1 discussion. So that was a chapter 9 review. And then, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Okay, so one of you is going to want to be the moderator and keep everyone on task. One of you is going to want to be the annotator. We're doing the chapter 9 review. We're going to try to find some more neurons. You guys are young, you've got lots of neurons. So we're doing the chapter 9 review. And then the scribe will want to kind of keep track of everything. So let me put you in breakout rooms. I guess, oh yeah. Maybe I'll pause the recording.